Welcome to the Fans First Talk Show. I'm your host, Liam.
And I'm your other host, Dex.
Coming up today on the Fans First Talk Show, this is part one of our 2024-25 figure predictions and spoilers. We're going to tell you what we believe is next in the G.I. Joe Classified series in 2024 and 25. We'll share with you some upcoming theme lines, new figures in the retro line, new dreadnoughts, new figures for the Hiss Tank and Dragonfly, and we have reason to believe that we might already have images of what the Classified series Road Pig will look like. Now, today's show is jam-packed. This is our first episode of 2024. Last summer, we launched our TV show here in Canada on Shaw together with Rogers. As a result of their merger, we are now in 3.6 million homes across Canada. So to everyone watching, a big thanks for your support. Wherever you are in the world, your continued support for Dex and I allows us to keep bringing you the best G.I. Joe news and entertainment that we think G.I. Joe fans deserve. 2023 was our biggest and best year so far. And good news, folks, 2024 is going to be a wild ride. This is going to be even better. We put a lot of work into our programming here at Viper Island, and I think today's episode is going to be a great example of that. Now let's preface this discussion by saying that today's episode is all about predictions and spoilers of what's to come. According to Hasbro's G.I. Joe team, the 2024 lineup is complete, and they are currently working on the 2025 lineup for G.I. Joe Classified as we speak. In 2023, there were about 65 or so releases throughout the whole year. For 2024, Dex, we already know some of the releases that are coming. Some of them have been pre-orders, others are name-only reveals, but we don't have around 65. We're nowhere close to that. So there are a lot of names that have not been announced so far. Some of what we're going to share with you today is based on details that we've learned from the Hasbro G.I. Joe team, and some is based on information that we've learned from our own research. We were the first to tell you about the Iron Grenadiers theme, the Iron Grenadier, the Iron Grenadier Bat, Metalhead, and many others. So far, our hard work and research have paid off, and I think you'll enjoy this episode, don't you, Dex?
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it. First up, let's talk about a theme line that might not be new, but we haven't seen much of it so far, and we're going to see a lot of it in 2024. The Mad Marauders line. The color scheme for this is green, brown, and blue outfits. Barbecue was the first one to join the line, and he's the first of many to come. Here's a list of the members that we expect for 2024 and 25. All of these are going to be versions of the Slaughter's Marauders figures we got back in the late 80s. Among the possibilities are Sergeant Slaughter, Lowlight, Spirit, Mutton Junkyard, and we expect that Footloose will be coming sometime this year or next year as well. Falcon is also another possibility, but without a new head sculpt, I don't think anyone's going to be interested. What do you think, Dex?
Yeah, I don't think anyone would want that head sculpt again.
Now here Dex and I have Lowlight, Sergeant Slaughter, and Spirit. These are a few of the examples that are going to be coming from Mad Marauders. We're going to get green, blue, and brown versions of all of these guys. Dex, which are you looking forward to the most for Mad Marauders?
Probably Mutton Junkyard. I really like their colors, and I think it would look amazing with Mad Marauders.
I agree, that would be good. Now, I'm a big Sergeant Slaughter fan, so I'm waiting for this guy. I think Spirit would be great too. Lowlight really does look good in Mad Marauders colors. Sergeant Slaughter, that's where it's at for me. Next, let's jump over to the Tiger Force theme. I don't think they're done yet because there's more coming this year. And let's start with the list of members that are very likely to be joining this line. Tiger Force Roadblock, Tripwire, Tunnel Rat, Airtight, and Alpine is another possibility. He came with shorts with his Tiger Force version. That was in the 2000s. It wasn't one of the original members. Hasbro does like their repaints, so when we get Alpine, we're definitely getting more versions of Alpine at some point. So Dex, you've got the Heavy Artillery Roadblock right there. That's most likely what we're going to get for the mold for Tiger Force. Just change up the colors. I'm not a fan of the Tiger Force Roadblock at all. I don't like the color scheme. Let us know in the comments if you're looking forward to Tiger Force Roadblock.
I think he's really good, and I like his handgun a lot. It's one of the best in the line.
I've got Tripwire right here, and the version for Tiger Force is brown, not green. It's not going to be a deluxe figure. It'll be pared down. Probably only one of these vests. No robots, no rat. More of the classic-looking Tripwire that we're used to. Just a repaint, though. Tiger Force Tunnel Rat has a red shirt. Dex, do you like Tunnel Rat? Do you like that version? Red shirt, black pants.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
This is going to be a situation where Tunnel Rat appears quite a bit because he's on a lot of different sub-teams. Let us know in the comments which version you prefer the most, the OG version, Tiger Force, or Night Force. As for Airtight, Airtight is based on this guy right over here, Mole Rats. Same body mold. It only makes sense that when Airtight comes, we're going to get Tiger Force Airtight as well. Next up, let's talk about Night Force. This might be my overall top favorite theme line, and it goes well with the HasLab from 2023, the Dragonfly helicopter. Some Night Force figures that were included with the Dragonfly include Crazy Legs and Ripcord. We already have Big Ben in the line. We've got Night Force Shooter here. We modded her up with the Steel Core Trooper shoulder pads, and I've got an extra one of these Stalker berets. It fits perfectly on her. This is my favorite way to display Shooter. I think it's a fantastic figure, very underrated, and it's a sign of what we're going to be getting with Night Force. Compared to Tiger Force, Night Force is a more mature-looking theme line. As for the members of Night Force that are going to be coming to join Classified, Shockwave, Flint, Falcon, Chuckles, Outback, and Muskrat. Dex, from this list, who jumps out to you that you're most interested in?
I'm excited for Shockwave. I think he's going to look a lot better than the original in my opinion because it looks more realistic.
Yeah, none of that digital camo, just more simple. You're right. The one that I'm most excited for is my favorite version of Chuckles, Night Force Chuckles. Now, we didn't have an opportunity to get Chuckles, and that's fine because I was sort of on the fence about that one. First of all, Chuckles was sold at a deluxe price point. Would you call that a deluxe figure?
No.
Barely came with anything, like you're mostly paying for the box with Chuckles.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for opportunities down the road where we get other versions that aren't the deluxe version that came out first for San Diego Comic-Con in 2023. Night Force Chuckles has more of a gray shirt with some flowers on there again, but then the web gear. He looks like he's ready for battle.
I like Night Force more because it looks a lot more realistic. It doesn't look like he's just going for like a stroll on the beach.
Yeah. And I think we can't go forward without talking about Night Force Outback. This is one of the all-time favorite versions of Outback out there for a lot of people. Obviously, the OG version is great. My personal favorite is Tiger Force Outback, and I don't even like Tiger Force, but that was a fantastic figure. Night Force Outback is more of a repaint of the OG version, where it has the survival shirt, but it's different colors. It's like a muted green. So what do you think of that one?
I think that it looks really good compared to the white t-shirt, because the white t-shirt doesn't make much sense when you're in the jungle.
So you're drawn more to the realism of these figures and the battles, as opposed to the cartoony aspect that people like myself grew up with. Now in 2023, we got Falcon. No one was happy about it. Dex, you are one of the biggest critics of Falcon out there. This is not going to be the last time that we get Falcon, and I think we're hoping for a brand new head sculpt.
Next, the Iron Grenadiers theme. Destro and Baroness are joining the Iron Grenadiers line.
Yeah, these guys are going to be awesome. Dex, I like the OG version of Destro. Tell everyone at home what you like the best.
I like the Prophet Director Destro. That's my favorite one. It looks so good.
So I think we're going to get a gnarly version of Destro here with the gold head from the Prophet Director and then beefed up armor, full of artillery. This is the badass version of Destro, and I can't wait. I think it's going to be outstanding, and I'm glad that we didn't get the Iron Grenadier theme line earlier in Classified because they worked out some kinks. We now just saw Baroness come out with the Crimson Strike team with double jointed elbows, the best version of her that we've had so far, and that means that now we can get a great version of the Iron Grenadier Baroness. Dex, what do you think of these two?
I think Destro's going to look amazing with that black and red, and the gold head sculpt. It's going to look so good, and all of his accessories he comes with, because he's the main weapons dealer for Cobra, so he's going to have a bunch of good stuff, hopefully. And Baroness is going to look really good. I'm
super excited that we got that awesome Crimson Strike Team Baroness. So I'm really looking forward to the Iron Grenadiers version because this is the beefed up, armored, badass version of all of these guys. And they are absolutely out there on the front lines going to battle. I can't wait. And then next in the Iron Grenadiers line, there will be Darklon, Destro's cousin. Dex, you just referenced the fact that Destro is Cobra's arms dealer. And this guy is all loaded up with all the biggest and best artillery out there. I love that head sculpt, the mask. He's going to look so cool and so good. He's got texture all over his torso and arms and outfit, a ton of straps, daggers, machetes.
He's gonna look so cool.
Oh man, yeah, and we're waiting for a G.I. Joe video game. This is a type of final boss that you go against in a video game, Darklon. To take down Darklon, you need an army of soldiers. You can't do it by yourself. And then how about Voltar and his pet Vulture? What do you think in terms of looks? Are you interested in a guy who looks like Voltar?
He looks cool, but he looks too weird in my opinion. He looks kind of like a shipwreck mixed with a spirit mixed with like Destro. That's the worst combination ever. He has a bird, he has a ginormous mustache and beard, which makes no sense when you've got all this metal plating around your face. You know how uncomfortable that would be?
So I'm not a big fan of Voltar, but I want to see that head sculpt and the helmet and the mask because we've seen so much awesome sculpting and detailing from the G.I. Joe team. It's just another opportunity for them to really show off what they can do. So that's the positive about Voltar. But when we're talking about theme lines, we want to see more and more awesome figures join each theme line. They're going to be beefed up with the Iron Grenadier Bats, the Iron Grenadiers, Destro Baroness. They're going to have foot soldiers as well. So it's just a matter of time before other mercenaries join the line with them.
Another guy that would look really good is probably Major Blood too, but we can talk about him next.
I think you're right, because next we're talking about another theme line, the Hiss Fireteam 788. So with the HasLab Hiss tank, we've already got the Hiss Fireteam 788 3-pack with the Range Viper, the Infantry, and the Officer. Then we've got all the crew that comes with the Hiss tank. Hasbro's doing something good here. For all of those out there who invested in the Hiss tank and want to beef up those armies, they're going to have opportunities. Coming soon is the SMS, which comes with the Techno Viper, and that's the Hiss Fireteam version. Now with pretty much every line that comes out for Cobra, they have infantry troopers, officers, and of course Cobra Vipers. On the screen, we're showing a custom version from Stronox Customs. This is a great looking Cobra Viper for the Hiss Fireteam 788 team. Dex, what are your thoughts here on this guy?
I think that it looks really cool, and I can't wait to get this guy in the actual line. I really like these Vipers, especially the new ones that they're making for every theme line. It looks amazing, especially this one.
I'm not interested in collecting all the different versions of Vipers, but I would get a Hiss Fireteam Cobra Viper. Absolutely. It might be the best Cobra Viper that we ever get. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments below. You might not agree. Maybe you're a big fan of the Python Patrol Viper. There's always going to be a Cobra Viper for any team. We know that. And for the Hiss Fireteam, again, I think we're going to get the best version of a Cobra Viper ever. I like the classic one from 1986. This, I think, is going to trump that. So let us know in the comments what you guys think about the Cobra Viper joining the Hiss Fireteam.
Next, Major Blood.
Yeah, this is another version by Stronox Customs.
He looks amazing. I just can't wait to get this. With all the red and black, it's outstanding, this figure. It's going to be insane when it gets in stores.
Yeah, I think that the Hiss tank ultimately will pay huge dividends for the Classified series. Outstanding, iconic vehicle, plus all the packaging. The fans voted for the Tactician Bravo. Major Blood, one of the best figures in Classified. One could even argue that it's #1 overall out of all the figures. What a head sculpt.
Yeah.
We want to see more. There's a lot of people out there who did not get Major Blood, never found it, never came across it, and were not willing to pay up the premium on the second market.
I love the silver on here though. It will look amazing when the silver actually is on the figure, because that will just look outstanding with the black, silver, and red.
The contrast of colors, especially just between red and black, what a great look, especially for Cobra too. I mean, that's basically Cobra's colors right there. I know there's a lot of navy blue mixed in for Cobra, but this is going to look outstanding. And the more figures that come out, the more Hasbro is going to please its collectors who invested in the Hiss tank. All of a sudden, they can just build out their army for this big, massive HasLab project that all these collectors signed up for.
And of course, we're not just getting a Cobra Viper, we're going to be getting a bat also. Any line, there's a bat.
Yeah.
It's not even much different, just colors. It's bat, 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 bat.
Now, you could pair the Crimson Bat with the Hiss tank, and that would be fine. Obviously, we're going to get another version, just like you mentioned, Dex. Hasbro likes to pump those out, and they sell. The Crimson Bat goes with the Crimson team, right? The Crimson Strike team, Crimson Baroness, the Crimson Twins, the Crimson Viper, all of those. And they do look good with the Hiss tank, but at the same time, the black and red bat from head to toe with red trim, maybe some silver on there, that would look great. And I think that's another way for the bat to shine. Next up, let's talk about the Retro line. This just restarted basically with Duke and Scarlet and Recondo. It's almost like everything that came before that for the first 8 or 10 that came out, it's almost like that didn't happen. That was done very differently than Duke and Scarlet especially. With Duke and Scarlet, we're getting the best versions that we've ever gotten for them. And first off, I think we have to talk about some of the figures that are obviously going to be joining this line. The first one, we've already told you about months ago, Cobra Commander.
He's gonna look really good, though, in my opinion. All the accessories and colors he's gonna come with, he's just gonna look like the classic Cobra Commander. I can't wait for this figure.
And that's what a lot of collectors were waiting for from the very beginning of the line. The classified version of Cobra Commander that came out very early in the line, it was okay, and it was trying to be more of a futuristic version. And we told you that Hasbro was waiting for the His Tank to come out first. They didn't want to upset collectors who had invested in the His Tank by releasing a retro Cobra Commander or even announcing it first before they got their variant, right?
Yeah.
So take care of the people who paid up the $300 for the His Tank. This retro Cobra Commander is going to be amazing. Most collectors out there, even ones who got the His Tank, are going to want this retro Cobra Commander. It is a little funny that we're not getting the retro Cobra Commander, the classic version that everyone wants, until year 5 of Classified.
Yeah.
Next, another very strong possibility for the retro line is the Televiper. Now, we got a great version of the Televiper. There was the Python Patrol version as well. Those guys had long sleeves. Now, it's not a big deal, but how can Hasbro make more money? Give them short sleeves like the retro version from back in the 80s. The original vintage version had short sleeves. This is what we anticipate will come for G.I. Joe Classified in the retro line, a Televiper without the Cobra Flight Pod. Now, we already talked about Major Blood. We're going to see another one, retro line. That's going to be where it's at. This is all about vintage. Dex, what do you think about a vintage version of Major Blood?
I think it could look pretty good, though, considering that this one's a more futuristic version. I think that having a more cartoony version would look pretty good in the line.
So you're referring to the Cobra Island version that came out first. That was a great way to modernize Major Blood, but now we can take a step back and say, let's go back to the vintage style that made him popular in the first place. And especially with that head sculpt, that's a situation where you're not touching a damn thing, Hasbro. This is not Falcon or Flint where there's something to fix.
Next, Flint. I think that for Flint, we should get a new head sculpt, considering for Duke, we got a new head sculpt, even though his was fine, and Flint's was not fine, the first one, so we might as well give him a new head sculpt, and that would look a lot better, and then just use that for all the other variants in the future, because the other one's a bit outdated now, considering that you had Major Blood only a couple of waves after that looked 100 times better than Flint's.
We need a new Flint head sculpt. The retro line is where you do it.
Yeah.
Just like you said, Dex. If they did it for Duke and they did it for Scarlet, let's do it for Flint. I'm waiting for that perfect version of Flint. We haven't seen it so far. Another figure coming, version 2 of Sergeant Slaughter. Now, we already covered this on Viper Island a few weeks ago. The version 2 of Sergeant Slaughter was a mail-away figure back in the 80s. This is another repaint that's just waiting to be made. Heavy Artillery Roadblock kicked all of this off. That's what Sergeant Slaughter is. He's a repaint of Heavy Artillery Roadblock. When you get it looking just like Sergeant Slaughter, especially with that head sculpt, it doesn't matter if it's a repaint. This is one of the best repaints in the whole line. Now, some people will say, I've already got the Sergeant Slaughter Classified, I'm good. Other fans out there who are big fans of Sergeant Slaughter like myself, I mean, I grew up watching the cartoon, seeing all the commercials. I love the commercials just as much as the show. This guy was all over a lot of the commercials. This is more the wrestling version of Sergeant Slaughter with the look green olive tank top, the USA letters across his stomach, the black tights with the red, white, and blue stripes down the side, and it's a striking figure as well. Dex, what do you think of this? How do you feel about Sergeant Slaughter and getting different versions of him down the line?
I think it's a pretty good idea, considering the other one was more of a deluxe edition, I'm pretty sure. So then this one will come with less stuff and it'll be better.
We're going to see more versions because in summer of 2022, we broke the news here on Viper Island that you probably haven't heard anywhere else, that Sergeant Slaughter the Man signed a multi-year deal with Hasbro. We've got one figure that's come out so far. There's going to be a 3 3/4 inch version that comes with the Transformers collab. There's a lot of different versions that will come along, and for Sergeant Slaughter fans, this is good news. Man, I'm excited for this one big time. The more Sergeant Slaughters they make, the more I will buy. Next, the perfect version of Roadblock. We haven't seen it yet. The closest thing we've got so far is Heavy Artillery. So far, Roadblock has not come with the right weapons in Classified. The good news is, his gun now exists because it comes with the Action Soldier Infantry. That big heavy artillery machine gun. A repaint of the Heavy Artillery Roadblock will come in the classic vintage style with that big machine gun. So there we go. Another one that you can knock off the list right there. Next for the retro line, Rock and Roll. Another simple repaint. We don't have to get into this one too much. They already gave us a fantastic version of Rock and Roll in 2023. This one would be the green shirt version. So for fans of rock and roll out there, that's a good thing, getting the OG version. Next, now we already touched on Night Force Chuckles. This would be the G.I. Joe the movie version, where he's wearing dark navy blue pants and a white Hawaiian shirt with yellow flowers, but it could also be pink. Simple repaints, widely accessible, that's what the retro line is all about. Chuckles in the retro line would mean fewer accessories, and I'm okay with that. Just give us a good version of Chuckles. I don't need all the extras, I don't need the tape recorder, just his basic weapons, maybe a briefcase, and we're good.
And another theme line, the Dreadnoks. First up, Road Pig.
Yeah, Road Pig is 100% confirmed, folks. This guy is going to be coming soon. I can't wait for it. I'm a big Road Pig fan. Anyone who's been watching Viper Island knows that. To celebrate our first year anniversary, custom figure maker Figurehead made us an amazing Ultimate Edition of Road Pig. Now, this is a very classic looking version of Road Pig, and we are very fortunate to have it because it is my #1 favorite figure in all of the classified figures that we have. I don't know how you can beat it, especially when it comes from a great mastermind like Figurehead. This guy came loaded up with 4 different sets of interchangeable shoulder pads, interchangeable forearm pads, a crossbow that can fit onto his forearm, amazing.
And a bunch of other amazing accessories too.
Now here's the exciting part, folks. At the start of the episode, we mentioned that we already have an image of what we believe Road Pig will look like for classified.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And this is from the Renegade Studios RPG game. A lot of the figurines that come with that game are based on G.I. Joe Classified. This is the classic Road Pig.
Yeah.
And it's basically the figure that we got from Figurehead. So you can take a look at it. We're putting it on the screen. I think a lot of people who are waiting for Road Pig will be very happy when this comes along. So if you are wondering at all what Road Pig would end up looking like, we don't know the size, but I feel very confident in saying that this is what Road Pig is going to look like for G.I. Joe Classified. We've been right along the way with a lot of different figures, especially Xandar as well. Told you he was coming. Sure enough, shortly after that, Hasbro announced it. I'm telling you right now, Road Pig is confirmed for the G.I. Joe Classified line, and he's going to look just like this.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We already have a great version. I don't care. I'm still getting this one again. Sergeant Slaughter, Road Pig, the Renegades. That's what I'm all into for G.I. Joe.
For the Dreadnoks, we already have Buzzer, Ripper, and Torch has been announced. And now we're going to have Monkey Wrench too.
Yep, absolutely. We're getting the main 4 that came along. Zartan's henchmen. We're going to have Zartan, Zarana, Xandar, and then his 4 main Dreadnoks. Ripper looks amazing. I'm not so big on Buzzer, so let's hope that that's not the same case for Monkey Wrench.
He looks really cool though. I really like his jacket and his weapons that he comes with. He's going to be a really good extension to the Dreadnoks line.
Yeah, and I think he's going to go very well hand in hand with Ripper. And here's another figure that's going to be for G.I. Joe Classified, Heart Wrencher. Not everyone knows who she is. She's basically a repaint of Zarana.
Just with different colors and more purple.
Yeah, instead of the pink, we get the purple. So here's what's happening, folks. We already announced earlier in 2023 that the Cobra Stinger is confirmed for Classified. We passed it along. And Dex, what is Hasbro known for doing?
Making repaints.
We're getting a repaint of the Cobra Stinger, which is a repaint of the Vamp, just with doors on the sides.
Yeah.
That's called the Dreadnought Ground Assault. The driver for that? Heart Wrencher. So that's why she's going to be announced for the line. We know what's happening next. Heart Wrencher is going to be coming with the Dreadnought Ground Assault, and she won't be the only driver to come along for the Dreadnoughts, because another vehicle that we're confirming is the Dreadnought Thunder Machine. The driver that comes with that is Thrasher, and in 2023, during our Best of the Year awards, G.I. Joe fans from around the world, over 18,000 voted, and Figurehead's Thrasher and the Dreadnought Thunder Machine was voted as the best custom figure of the year. What a great looking Thrasher. So there we go, Dreadnought Thunder Machine with Thrasher, Dreadnought Ground Assault with Heart Wrencher. And once we get more of these Dreadnoughts, you get Ripper sitting in the Dreadnought Thunder Machine and everyone else just piled on top. It's gonna look amazing. So Dex, just to recap, we brought up some spoilers and predictions for the Mad Marauders, Tiger Force, the Night Force theme, which goes hand in hand with the Dragonfly HasLab, the Iron Grenadiers theme, the Fire Team 788 theme, which goes with the Hiss Tank, the retro line, and more Dreadnoks. How excited are you about all these new figures that are going to be coming our way?
I'm so excited this year for them to come out. His Fire Team is the best line in my opinion. I can't wait for that.
For me, Night Force. I think it's going to be awesome, and I think a lot of fans are going to be really excited about new versions of other figures that came out, and especially when you see them in the Night Force colors. I'm with you, Dex. I think Fire Team for the Cobra side is going to look gnarly. Folks, we're only halfway through our list of predictions and spoilers of what's to come. Stay tuned for more of our spoilers and predictions in part 2 in our next episode. We've got some brand new intel on vehicles. That's a big deal, right? We started seeing more vehicles. We've got more news about what's to come and other new figures. But that will have to wait for our next episode. As always, we want your takes down in the comment section. Today's Viper Island question of the day is, do you care more about new figures or new vehicles? 2024 is going to be a big year for both new figures and new vehicles. I think exciting things are coming your way. If you're enjoying the Classified series, I think you're really going to have fun in 2024.
Yeah.
This is how we kick off the year in a big way. But we want your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Let us know which you care more about, new figures or new vehicles. My name is Liam. You can follow me on Instagram at Viper Island. For all things G.I. Joe, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you want to support the show, smash that like button. Until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, have a great day, and yo Joe!